All right, there we go. Finally, mic's working. All right. We'll keep it short tonight because it's a pretty awful day for Chicago sports overall. So, rough Bears loss, which is that obviously is the more important team right now, and the Bulls continue just to be absolutely disgustingly awful. So, I mean, God, man, this game is just like. Once again, for everybody to say, oh, injuries, I just want to make this clear because I know that there's still some of those believers out there in the Bulls community right now, or what I like to call the AK supporters that still won't, I don't know, it's like, just as much as I say that the front office needs to get their heads out of their asses, like, I swear to God, these people also need to do the exact same thing. But, if you're going to claim injuries, Steph Curry wasn't playing tonight. Draymond Green wasn't playing tonight. Al Horford wasn't playing tonight. Jonathan Kuminga got a DNP-CD. My fault on the tweet. I thought he was still out with injury, but no, he didn't play tonight. And meanwhile, the Warriors come in and just absolutely dismantle you. It is just disgusting just to watch this game. Don't want to hear any sort of excuses. The Bulls still give up 22 threes without Steph Curry playing. And not only is the defense that we've been talking about consistently from basically preseason, and you know, we gave it a little bit of a hiatus when the little winning streak that was absolutely fake happened, has continued just to be flat out awful. But the Bulls recently in offense have also just been terrible. They've just been pretty bad as well. This is going to be the third game in a row here where the Bulls don't score more than 105, and the fourth game in 5 games where they only score 105 or less. So it continues just to be an absolute shitstorm where you think, oh, if they just kind of get their defense together, they'll look a little bit better. No, don't even consider that. The Bulls have continued to drop in terms of points per game. They came into this game ranked 12th in points per game when I know that they were top 5 earlier. And their offensive rating is actually worse than their defensive rating heading into tonight's game. So that is something that I think that some people aren't even considering right now, is that, you know, people think, oh, we have our Halliburton. Well, yeah, about that. Another terrible game from Giddey overall, especially on offensive end. Defensively, it was better than that Pacers game, but man, oh man, it just continues just to be just a shitstorm when it comes to this core. And everybody involved. Thought Boozer was probably the best player tonight. Was really annoyed when he did get that little bop in the nose and then had to come out. Billy decided not to play him, even though he was available. He came back on the bench and was available to come back in that third quarter. Didn't play him until the fourth. And the Bulls continue just to slide. So 7 L's in a row. Good news for us is that the Bulls have a 4-day break here. So we don't have to be pounding our heads against the wall and watching this team just be absolutely just treacherous consistently. But I am looking forward to this little break here to enjoy some of the better basketball in this league. But before we get into that, though, we're going to have to go ahead and talk about this game here where the Bulls have collected their 7th L in a row. Standings-wise, I think we're now below the Bucks again officially after this L, but we'll see what the winning percentage is. But yeah, we're here. So it's gonna be really sad still if the Bulls find a way to make the play-in tournament even after this just terrible start or just terrible little run here. But we will see what ends up happening. What's going on, y'all? I appreciate you checking in after a pretty awful day in terms of just Chicago sports history. But hey, Bears made a good go. It was unfortunate how it all ended, but Bears made a pretty decent go. But I'm hoping the Bears win against the Packers at Soldier Field in a couple weeks here. Go and watch the Warriors lead fly from 8 to 27. The fourth and called 0 timeouts. Just a genuinely pathetic excuse of a coach. Oh my god, man. I mean, it was a fake comeback and we all kind of knew it. But like watching just this Bulls team just be so shit and letting that comeback just happen, and Donovan is just like, yeah, well, we'll just let that happen. It's just so terrible, man. Don't forget to offer the max to Kobe Shaq. Oh my god, man. Kobe was also just disgustingly bad. I think both backcourt guys combined for 8 turnovers tonight, and it just is just like all these turnovers by these guys are just so terrible. Like Giddey had 2 horrific turnovers to start the game, and then he had that horrific turnover in the third quarter, and then he didn't play defense after that play. Also, was just like, come on, man. I need this backcourt gone. Like, if you're keeping one, you're keeping Giddey, but I'm honestly, I'm at the point where I'm just like, nah. Like, if Giddey's gone too, I'm cool with that. I'm okay making sure that we just don't have any, like, terrible defensive liabilities on the roster anymore, honestly. There was 2-3 minutes of a game where defense allowed offense. I think that might be a typo, but I mean, yeah, I think that in the third quarter we saw a little bit of like a full court press and some trapping, and it was probably the best defensive effort throughout the night, except maybe in the second quarter. The second quarter, honestly, for the Bulls wasn't that bad defensively, but they just couldn't score. They still lost the quarter by 1. I mean, yeah, that little stretch was fine. It was cool to see, but when you dig yourself as big of a hole as you dug yourself into this game, like, it just doesn't matter. It felt very similar to the Pacers game where the Bulls made a little bit of a run at the end of that Pacers game as well. And it's just like, well, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, you went on like a 20-4 run in that Pacers game and you still found yourself down by double digits. Like, it just doesn't matter at the end. But the full court press, the thing is that the Bulls don't have the personnel to run it consistently, but teams are just very adept to getting through the full court press. So I didn't expect that to last for the rest of the game. One thing I'll agree with Stacey is the knee was struggling to give that full court defense that didn't exist outside those couple of minutes. See, I disagree with that overall. Is like, if we're all struggling, that we need to run full court press. Like, I think that's something that you need to just kind of sprinkle in here and there. Because you can't run it the entire game. Like, you can't ask these guys to run full court press for like 8 minutes long, because teams find ways to get through it. Like, they have ways now to get through this easily. But do I think that you could maybe change your pick and roll defense to try to see if that will change something? Yeah. Can you try something else defensively where instead of your just typical principles, like, try something different? For sure. You know, I don't think we saw zone today, but like, you know, do something different in terms of your zone defense instead of running a 2-3 zone with 2 bad defenders at the top. That would also be helpful if you're the Bulls, but yeah, do something just completely different. Like, the Warriors, I think I couldn't tell what the Warriors were running today. It looked like a triangle and 2, but it's so hard to tell, honestly, what the Warriors, like, they have like all these like different zones. Like, I've seen them run box and 1 and shit. So but yeah, like, try something different, but very clearly that's not in the Donovan wheelhouse. So like, yeah, I was fine with like the little sprinkle of like that full court defense in that end of that third, but like, I don't know how it's gonna last throughout the entire fourth or anything like that. I feel it's hard for it to keep going. Also, partly Warriors dip, it looked more energy briefly till the unit came off. I mean, it was definitely more energy for sure. The Warriors definitely missed some shots though. Like, I was like, wow, the Warriors were missing some looks, but for sure some more energy. Yeah. Same shit, different game. Yep, we're here. He also looked dejected. He just got up and walked to the locker without even sticking around to shake hands. Hey, I don't blame him. I wouldn't shake any hands if I was on this roster right now. Yeah. So it's even more like locker room issues. They're gonna claim it's not, but I firmly believe that it is locker room issues right now. The Bulls started the game and Buzelis was kind of getting yelled at by players as well. I was looking at. I was just like, that's interesting. Like, people were kind of like all yelling at Buzelis in this one specific play where I'm like, wow, like, that's all right. Like, we're just blaming Buzelis for a lot of shit, I guess. But yeah, I'm like, I really do think that there's a severe amount of locker room issues going on. I think that there's a distrust with Billy right now, with all the players involved. I think that a lot of the bench players right now are like, it's so obviously it's hard with all the injuries with the bench at this moment, but I really do think that there's quite a few bench players, especially some that are not even playing right now, that are pretty pissed at Billy Donovan because like they were probably the best unit out there in other games previously, earlier in the year, and they weren't allowed to close. Very clearly, I think that there's a disconnect between Vucevic and the rest of the team, especially after that Wizards post-game little interview with Casey Johnson. So yeah, I think there's definitely something going on. I don't know how it is with the rest of the coaching staff, obviously, but we won't find out because they're gonna continue to say that everything's fine. So it's up to the beat reporters to actually come on in and actually be, you know, getting some scoops, but I don't think it's gonna happen, unfortunately. We rock bottom yet, or got a few more games left in us before we actually hit it? Yeah. I think we're officially rock bottom. Like, I think that Bulls fans need to just admit it, that it's rock bottom officially now. But, you know, they won't. You I guess some people might argue like the first year of that rebuild post Jimmy Butler era was rock bottom, but nah, man, I think this is officially rock bottom. This is just flat out disgusting. This Bulls team is supposed to be winning, and Donovan's coaching to win, and they're still not winning. They're not anywhere close. Their offense is garbage. Their defense is garbage. Like, no talent really on the team. Like, it's officially rock bottom, I think. Question: do we suck? Oh man, I hope that we could all answer that. Is it time to call Sack and ask them they want Kobe and Vooch? No need to send anything back. I mean, honestly, I'd be all for it. I'd honestly be all for it with it. But I think that it's time just to go ahead and look for some different homes for these guys. Yes, we suck. They have not been good. Yeah, they have not been good. Has to go. They know we suck. I don't know, man. I don't know. I disagree with you there. They don't get Bulls offense, especially around Giddey thrives off having at least some defense. Okay, but if that is the case, first and foremost, Giddey has to play defense, and he's not done that recently at all. Secondly, Giddey has been flat out awful, even on these fast break opportunities recently. He has been flat out disgusting in these past 2 games. Like, this is not a good game from Giddey again. I mean, early turnovers and in transition opportunity, or there's some transition opportunities he had a turnover in, and he's missing shots at the basket. He's not trying to actually make shots right now. He's just flailing for contact. Like, this is not good. Like, if the offense is so reliant on transition opportunities for Josh Giddey to get the basketball, to actually, run down the floor, and that's the only way he's going to get to the basket consistently to go and finish, that's a problem. And so if you're built off of that, then this is a serious issue. I'm not going to just be like, well, yeah, the defense needs to play well for Giddey to have a good game. Like, okay, no. If that is the case for Giddey to have a good game or an effective game, is that the defense needs to show up, I'm like, okay, you have an issue. If your player is built off of fast break opportunities only, that's a problem. And I'm not going to be like just letting Giddey off the hook with this. I've been criticizing the fuck out of everybody this entire season, especially Buzelis as well. Like, I've been shitting on him. I've shot on Kobe this entire season, including Vucevic too. Like, no one's safe when it comes to criticism. And so to be like, oh, but Giddey needs the defense to like get his offensive game going, I'm like, well, I don't care. He's been bad. Like, if this is how Giddey has to operate, where the defense has to be good for him, that's a problem. Like, he needs to be more effective on the offensive end without the defense being effective on the floor. We can't have that right now when it comes to Giddey. This has been 2 bad games in a row. The defense in that Pacers game was atrocious from him. Like, it was levels of atrociousness that I was just like, man, I don't even think Giddey played this terrible defense in Oklahoma City. Like, this has been terrible, and I'm not shocked to see it. Like, he's probably given up with his team as well. But your job is to still go out there as the best player with the highest paid contract right now, and he's been pretty awful recently these past 2 games. So no one's safe, and this is another game again here where it's just like, man, this is flat out rough, man. They should stop with the injury BS talk. The Warriors tried out their 3rd string against Beat us like we owe them money. Oh, for sure. Like, the Warriors went out there easily, and I mean, they beat the Cavs last night without Jimmy Butler. There's no excuses when it comes to the injury BS. And Stacey King talking about it is just like, okay, yeah. I don't need to hear Stacey King talk anymore. He called a Patrick Williams made 3 tonight, which was his only shot that he made, a contested 3-point look, and it wasn't contested in my opinion. I was just like, all right, brother, like. Kobe White took a 3-point shot in transition, and he was pissed off about it, but it was a 3v2 fast break, and the 2 guys went to the basket for the Bulls, and Kobe's wide open, and the Warriors stopped the paint, so you might as well shoot an open 3-point shot instead. And I'm like, oh, it's a good look. He just isn't making them. It's not an excuse for Kobe's rest of his terrible play. He had terrible turnovers tonight and was flailing and also trying to get some contact, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just don't want to hear him talk at this point, man. It must not be great, but I'll put a big portion of it on box as a defensive pressure / energy, even for how bad they are at it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think we all know that the energy is terrible, but that doesn't give any sort of excuse for this team to be this terrible on an offensive end and to shoot below 40% from the field. Like, this team should still find a way to score, at least 100 points every night, even if the defense isn't going to get you those transition opportunities. Like, that's their issue. This is their problem. Like, I don't think that this is something that we could be like, oh yeah, like, the defense wasn't playing well, therefore the offense is okay not to play good. Like, no, it's the same thing both ways. Like, if the offense is shit, doesn't mean that the defense can be shit too. Like, these guys are just flat out terrible as a roster, and they lack talent. Like, I think it's pretty evident at this point, and you know, we continue to have guys like this guy who I don't even think is a G League level player just continue just to play, and I just like, God, man, I want this guy gone so bad. But we're gonna keep him around for a long time. Play number 7, yeah. Also, there's no movement offense this game for emotion offense intended. See, I disagree with that as well. I think that the Bulls actually moved pretty decently. Like, they just didn't make any shots tonight. They still had 24 assists tonight, and they shot 36% from the field. Like, I would argue that they were honestly fine tonight in terms of their offensive movement. They just were making terrible decisions constantly. It was a terrible drive that leads to a turnover, or it's a drive that you think that you're going to be able to kick it out, and you go nowhere, and you end up turning it over somehow. Like, it was, instead of just, you know, anytime they got a wide open three, it was a brick. Like, they couldn't get that, and guys weren't catching passes effectively, and it just was constantly just terribleness all around. Like, I think that the offense was fine in terms of just the player movement and the ball movement. Like, the guys are still moving tonight, but it's not effective if your drivers are going to just be constantly turning it over, or in Patrick Williams' case, he just decides to always miss a layup. Like, he can't make a layup for his damn life, right? Vooch can't make a shot for his life either. Like, it's going to look terrible out there. And, you know, you have a guy in Giddey who, in the pick and roll, has been flat out disgustingly bad this season, and it's just like, well, I mean, if he's not going, and, you know, the team needs him to get going so that he can try to find others, well, yeah, this is what you get, and Kobe's loose with the basketball, Giddey's making bad passes or trying to force shit. It's just like, the only guy that was effective tonight was this guy, and he only got 24 minutes tonight somehow. Even, I am aware that he got hit in the nose and everything, but I don't know why he didn't play more. I just pisses me off with Donovan, man, that I'm just like, man, we got, this guy's got to play as much as possible. He got hit, but like, he was the only guy effective tonight, and you're out there just like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna put him back in the game once he comes back to the bench. Like, just give the ball to Montes, let him show out, please. I'm so tired of these vets just taking unnecessary, flat-out terrible shots. At least we can expect something on Montes, some kind of hope. Right, and Buzala had that dunk over Quentin Post today. He had a couple nice finishes around the basket. He hit 2 threes in a row before he got knocked in the nose. Like, give him the ball, man. I don't know why it's such a problem for the Bulls. Like, he only had 4 shots in the first half. He played 15 minutes. Yes, he got into some foul trouble, but he still played 15 minutes in that first half. Like, I don't understand why it's such an issue for this team to get him the ball consistently throughout the game. He typically fades as the game goes on, but tonight instead it was the opposite, where he didn't get many shots in the first half, but he got a lot more in the second half. But then he didn't come back in the game when he should have. Like, I don't get it. This is the only guy that I really care about right now that needs to get the basketball in the hands to see what he is. And, you know, you're going to be losing these games. Like, there's nothing good about this roster right now. So just, if you're going to continue losing games, give it to this guy and let him see what he can go do. Like, we saw some pick and roll plays. We saw him assist Vucevic on that one play. Like, it's good to see this from Buzelis. It would just be nice if that, hey, he's having a nice shooting night, he would play more than 24 minutes. Like, yeah, sure, foul trouble, but like, honestly, it doesn't matter if he's in foul trouble at this point. Like, it's just flat out disgusting just to see that, like, yeah, we can't even treat this guy properly. And honestly, I made a tweet also about Billy and his incompetencies. Like, if he could tell Montes Buzelis not to take any mid-range shots, then he could tell Patrick Williams to not drive. Like, for God's sake, bro, like, don't drive if you're Patrick Williams. But yet, for some reason, it's okay to tell Montes Buzelis to not shoot any mid-range shots, but when it comes to Patrick Williams, it's like, oh no, he can do whatever he wants to now. Like, I don't get it with this guy. He shot 2 threes tonight, he made 1 3, and he shot 4 shots in the interior, and I'm just like, why? Like, don't shoot the basketball inside. Legitimately, just only shoot threes, and don't ever think of driving. And yet, Patrick Williams tonight is just like, yeah, let's go to the paint, because that's an effective strategy for my game. Like, this dude missed a wide open layup again tonight. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, I'm just so, I don't get the level of just like, where is the standard across the locker room? Like, this is what we talk about locker room issues. Like, why is this guy not being told to not do whatever, like, his worst thing ever, which is his driving ability? Like, he shouldn't be driving at all, but yet he's allowed to do that. But yet this guy can't shoot any mid-range shots or get in the in-between game at all. Like, why is that allowed? I don't understand this. And I think, you know, if I'm questioning it I'm not in that locker room, but if I'm questioning it, then I'm sure other players in the locker room are also questioning it. It doesn't make any sense. Rock bottom was 99 plus 0. I mean, again, I wasn't around for that era, but like, I would argue this is more rock bottom, but I don't know. Yeah. Some of us have long accepted it's rock bottom. Had it not been for the 6-1 start, how much worse would this be? Oh my god, I think the Bulls would have maybe 4 wins right now. Like maybe. That would be a lot better, honestly. The reason why to me this is rock bottom is because the Bulls are still kind of in purgatory area, and they're still in this play-in spot area, right? Which we should be below Milwaukee now if this updates, yeah. But like this gives the Bulls front office enough hope to like try to still make the play-in tournament. When instead, if the Bulls just lost out early to start the season, like they'd be down here, right? And so like there's like no reason to try. But the reason why to me this is rock bottom is because we're still in purgatory and we're not in the best odds to get the first overall pick, because we can't. Like it's gonna be hard enough to lose these games to like get below Washington. But you still have enough wins that you're kind of in this category, and it's just like, yo. Like, the Bulls front office is going to try their best just to keep themselves afloat, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to lose my mind when we try to trade for some defensive guys and sacrifice some of our assets. Like, I'm going to generally lose it when that does happen, and I'm expecting it to. Or they just sit on their asses and just be like, no, we'll figure it out, which is also just a terrible decision. I thought I was going crazy watching Matis run the floor and never get the ball, so I went back and tracked the fourth quarter possessions. Oh, God, man. It's so bad in the fourth, man. Rock bottom was 99.04. Fair enough. Over the last 3 games, he's made multiple hard cuts or deep steals when he's wide open, and almost every time the ball handler, usually Giddey or Kobe, either waves him off or to reset or doesn't look his way. Lovely. I think Buzelis is more important than both of them right now. So it's flat out ridiculous that if they're waving him off and he's trying still, and it's just God. Casey miraculously enough calls this out all the time when it happens to Vooch. Right. It happens plenty enough when Vucevic doesn't get the basketball, according to Stacey King. But somehow, some way, we're not able to find Buzelis, even though he is probably the better cutter out of all of them. And yeah, that's flat out great. Bulls had some winnable games for this losing streak, but bad fourth quarter decisions hurt them, and you have to win those, right? If you're going to be actually a legitimate team, you have to win those games. I don't care who the opponent is. I don't care what the situation is. Like, the Bulls had plenty of winnable games before this humongous losing streaks hit, and they lost. Like, it was very winnable. Like, that Orlando Magic game, even in this losing streak, was winnable, in my opinion. That Pacers game, obviously, before that, was also winnable, and they didn't win that one. But to even go back into the 5-game losing streak before this 7-game losing streak, because we got those 2 wins in Denver and Portland miraculously. But like that Utah game, very winnable. I went to multiple overtimes, but that was extremely winnable, right? The San Antonio game was also very winnable. You're also at home for that one. And that Cleveland game, I mean, you were up for most of that game. Like it was very winnable games, and you flat out just lost it. So, it wouldn't shock me that if those L's had a major hit to the locker room, put a major stain to the locker room, and you can look at Billy Donovan and a lot of those L's and be like, like that was a bad decision by you. Not saying we win the game, but like, that Cleveland game is always going to stick out to me, where Jalen Smith was having a phenomenal game and Vucevic played the last 9 minutes over Smith. Smith did not play in the last 9 minutes of this game. I'm just like, how is this possible? Buzelis was playing very well in this San Antonio game, and the Spurs went big with Wembanyama and Cornette to end the game, and so you have, for some reason, Vucevic guarding Wembanyama one-on-one, because that's a smart decision, and meanwhile, Buzelis is still sitting at the end of the bench, not in foul trouble, having a great game, and Billy Donovan doesn't close with him for some reason. It would be helpful to have a 6'10 forward out there that could maybe match up to the size that the San Antonio Spurs are putting out in that game. Utah, they should have went for the win multiple times, didn't. And I don't understand that decision overall. There's issues in these games as well, even though they won it. And, we blew a 24-point lead in that Portland game, barely pulled that one out thanks to a Vucevic shot. This game happens, as we all remember that. The thing continues. Like, bad overall coaching decisions in the end of this game, for sure. And many more as we just go through it. It's just like, it's just continuously just showing like, wow, Billy like his bad coaching decisions, in my opinion, have officially put a major stain into the locker room. Now again, I'm speculating, but I don't think you go on a 7-game losing streak, losing to the worst teams in the league consistently in this sort of fashion, unless there's seriously something wrong going on right now with the chemistry. But they claim that nothing's wrong, which is really annoying to hear. But if it's truly that nothing is wrong, then I don't know what to say at this point. That besides just the fact that the team has no talent, and we are flat out just in disgusting areas of in terms of like the standings. And again, the front office is gonna be tricked into thinking that his team has enough talent to make the play-in tournament, which they do, but I don't want to add anymore. Like I think that this team needs to just be flat out just terrible for the rest of the season and not even think about the play-in tournament. Vooch has to go, ability is too loyal to him. I agree. I think that, you know, there's no reason, especially in this game where Vooch can't get anything going, that like, why are you playing him, you know, at all? You know, Zach Collins, I wouldn't say was much better tonight, but go small. Like the Warriors still have, like, I know that they're getting a ton of offensive rebounds, but like you're giving up those offensive rebounds with Collins and Vooch on the floor. Just go small tonight. Didn't do that either. So I don't know. It's just there are times that I'm like looking for Billy to actually go small. He doesn't decide to do it. It's honestly insane. 9904 was pretty rough for sure. Oh yeah. I was born in those years, so I don't know what was happening, but yeah, I understand that, especially after his post dynasty. Not saying Giddey wasn't shit, just that the defense is a part of the offense issue, especially for Giddey, given that they're running a style that needs to be up early. I mean, I agree that, I mean, that's the entire Bulls offensive identity, apparently, is that they're supposed to be running faster, but like it's a significant issue if Giddey has to get going in that sort of fashion only. Like, he has to find a way to go out and score in the half court if the offense can't get any sort of transition opportunities. Like, he has to still find a way to go out and get those scoring opportunities by himself in the half court. Like, he has to just go and do that. And we're seeing times right now where he's getting to the basket, but he's just missing. And then there's too many times recently where he's like coming off the pick, and instead of actually trying to make the basket, he's just flailing. Like, he's not getting the calls all of a sudden now. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're not getting them, then let's change. Like, how about we change it from, instead of trying to get the contact, let's change it, try to actually make the shot. Like, I'd much rather you get to the basket and end up missing than you just trying to flail and trying to get the contact right now. I don't need to see that. Like, let's actually try to get back to making some shots here and not relying on the officials to bail you out when the defense is on you. Like, let's be better, man. We keep seeing Montes needs to be more aggressive and shit, but this is a scheme issue. We're using him as a floor spacer when his game is mostly slashing and creating space in the paint. He's not, well, oh, I agree. But his game is also, like, you need to give him the ball as well. Like, his game is also predicated on having the on-ball opportunities. Like, yeah, he's going to end up failing in some of those, but you need to give him the ball to run some pick and rolls, to actually decide what to do on some of these isolation opportunities. Like, he needs to have the ball to have these driving moments so that he can learn from them. Because, like, that's what he's predicated on. Like, he's a forward. He's a 6'10" forward with good athleticism, right? And, great overall length. But what makes him different compared to some other people is that he can actually put the ball on the floor effectively. So he needs to have the ball in his hands. I just don't understand why, like, also what you're saying, though, Box, like, you're 100% right that, like, there's moments where he's cutting, and there's moments where he's moving, and he just doesn't get it. And it's just like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, it is almost kind of starting to be like Patrick Williams, but it's not his fault. Like, Montes is always one to take every shot at any given moment, usually, but if the team's not finding him, then he might as well just be Patrick Williams, right? And we don't need that. But the Bulls made the run at the end of the third. I see. I want defenders regardless as the main thing I hope they search for in swings. Players that may build offensive end but have D swings. No, I mean, I think that's what they need to 100% prioritize right now. Like, right now, I'm really not that concerned moving forward about, like, figuring out offensive stuff, because, like, the problem right now is that defensively, you're in such a horrible shape that you're going to have to figure out just something different. Like, obviously rim protector, but, like, the guys that you're gonna have on the perimeter need to be better defensively. And so again, like, once again, I bring up about Giddey. I'm just like, he's if he's gonna be this bad defensively, then, like, I don't know if it's worth keeping him around at this point. But we'll see what happens moving forward. But on offensive end, like, you're gonna have to really rely on this like high pick that hopefully you're gonna be targeting, which you should be. But your defensive guys need to also not just be absolute detriments to the offensive floor. And hopefully the Bulls are going to build up enough of a floor on the offensive end with the defensive guys that they go after and target that it's not going to be like absolute just shit on offense as well. Like, you need to get a defensive identity here, a defensive ability that is solid, and the offense isn't also just going to be completely garbage like how the Orlando Magic have had to go through their stretches, right? But I am definitely extremely concerned right now that it's like, I really do think that at this point with the league that you can go ahead and try to maybe get offensive talent easier versus you trying to make sure that you can get defensive talent that is also two-way capable, and like just always just have that. Like, I really think it's hard to kind of get those guys right now, especially in trades. So you're gonna have to definitely find a better defensive floor for this team, especially through the draft and any means necessary moving forward. And ideally, you're gonna be taking some risks on some, cheap young players. But yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen, man. Casey will also be too high value for OKC as one, and draft Daniels defenders, please. I don't think Casey Wallace is going anywhere. I think the Thunder are perfectly fine right now even with Casey Wallace being there. They're in a decent spot, I think, still with their cap space. When the Bulls made the run at the end of last season, that 4-game win streak 2 seasons ago, Billy liked the players played their strengths tees. Not doing that this year. To some extent, I would agree with that. But I also talked to you at the end of last game, Woodage. Like, I do think that the Bulls have, for most of the season, have attacked the paint, which has been their strength for most of the season. Now, do I think that example like Buzelis is not getting enough touches? Yes. Like, do I think that there's certain moments throughout games where I'm like, well, you're running just like this kind of standard set when instead you need to be getting guys in different areas and like getting guys on the move and finding your cutters effectively. Like, yes, I do agree with that. However, though, I do think that in general, I think the Bulls have effectively attacked the paint all season long, and that's been their strength for most of this season and most of this team. Like, I've been adamant, coming into this season. Like, one of my predictions, like, go back to my prediction video, I said that I don't think this Bulls team is going to be that good from 3-point range. Now, this has not been the case so far this season, but we are seeing recently the 3-point percentage has not been that great, and I wouldn't be shocked if we can continue to see this drop. But I didn't think that this team was going to be that great in terms of the 3-point shot. And so, I mean, they just continue to just attack the paint. And I think that's fine. Like, that is overall fine. Tonight was not exactly the best night, but I mean, the entire offense was just flat out garbage tonight. God, man. But what I will say is this, like, because the way that I look at that comment is like, I think the Bulls have played fast for most of the season. Like, do I think that they played fast enough in tonight's game? No, but for the most part, they're still looking to run, and they're still looking to try to get transition opportunities, and like that is playing to their strength, right? So, like, I think the reason why I'm pointing this out is that I'm not saying necessarily you're fully wrong, Woodage. I'm just saying that, like, I think that the Bulls are still playing to their strengths. What I'm saying is just that the team is just garbage. Like, we can argue back and forth about if they are playing to their strengths, but to me, I still think that this Bulls team is still playing to their strengths. They're still trying to get fast-paced points. They're still trying to attack the paint effectively, and they're trying to like make sure that they get there consistently every night. And it's a lot of drive and kick, that is supposed to be their strength. But at the same time, when you don't have the best offensive talent, it doesn't always look that great every night because you're heavily reliant on the ball movement and the player movement to try to generate opportunities for you. And once the defenses know that, it's going to be harder for you to score consistently. And it's also heavily dependent on all these guys to be shooting well effectively. And obviously tonight, you shoot 43s, you make 27.5% of them. And that's just flat out awful. So it's a little bit too reliant on consistent shooting, in my opinion. But that's, I do think that there could be better plays to their strength, but I don't necessarily think that it's been like, oh, the Bulls are playing to only their weaknesses. Like, to me, that would be that the Bulls are playing slow, like extremely slow, ISO ball consistently, and they're shooting as many threes as the Boston Celtics do. Like, I just don't think that's their strength at all. And they would be blitzing the pick and roll constantly. So, if this is development year, why is our highest upside prospect the fourth at best option in the half court? I don't know, honestly, and it's pissing me off. Like, this is supposed to be a development year for sure, and yet he, for some reason, is, third in terms of shots attempted tonight. Like, I don't get it. In the starting lineup, it doesn't make any sense to me. It feels like we're chasing wins with veteran players instead of developing the one guy who could actually become an all-star, and I agree. Like, Javon Carter got 21 minutes tonight. I don't need that, man. I'm sorry. I just, Javon Carter was part of that little run. I just don't need him out there. Patrick doesn't need to play 20 minutes a night. Like, I don't need this from him anymore. We definitely need to be prioritizing him 1,000,000% at this point. I quote the poorly used Nico's statement: "The defense wins championships, but actually gets some youth, gets them in youth, etc." I mean, Nico is in general right, but you don't sacrifice your entire offense to go and try to get that defense for a guy that is also very injury prone. Like, it's so just like the quote is like, yeah, like in general it seems right, but you don't trade your best player to go and get a better overall maybe defender, but he's not a better offensive player than the guy you just traded. So, am I the only one seeing this, or does the offense look completely broken whenever he tries to move off the ball? Who? Giddy or Buzelis? I'm not sure who you're talking about. But I think you can maybe argue a few people. Go against the wall, it's a waste of possession too often. I agree. Yeah. The Mark Moon example is how often they set up with 17 seconds left rather than 20 when they have had on offense. I mean, sure, but could that also just be an argument for that the defense is like finding ways to like slow them down from getting into the front court easier? Like, there's also that. So, when Amatis is one of the locker room fights, maybe calling shit defensive efforts out. I don't know if he's calling it out necessarily. I think honestly, players might be calling him out. It's like I do think that Buzelis has had some missed like defensive moments, but it's just that like it's just so bad when I think that there's like plays, for example, where I'm like, it looks like someone's like, where's the help? And I'm like, well, where's the initial point of attack defense? Like, that's my issue. It's just like, you can't be asking where's the help, and I'm looking at you as just like, you didn't offer any sort of point of attack defense at all on the perimeter. So like, why should you expect help when someone's like a direct line drive to the basket and you gave no resistance? Like, I think that's just flat out bullshit if you're like, well, where's the help? Like, so if that's what's going on, like, I don't know what to say, but I don't know. And that's why he's not getting time as much as he should. If that is the case, then Billy's just an idiot. Yeah. Or so he could be. I generally just think it's Billy. I think Billy just wants to just get on his ass for some reason. Very much wants to know why it all shifted so dramatically. I also want to know, but unfortunately we'll never get this. Or I'm gonna hope someone has to crash out to the media and like just like let it all out, or like someone gets traded later in the season and like they can just like speak freely. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough to figure out what exactly did happen. The team may have overperformed early, but the crash is too big and worse than the talent level. Still, no, I completely agree. I think that even with the talent level as it is, where I don't think it's that good, I think that some of these teams that you're facing are also extremely lacking talent. Like, you should be better than Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets have had a horrific season, and you lost to them at home. Like, you didn't score more than 103 points against them. That doesn't make any sense. The Brooklyn Nets are one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and you couldn't find a way to score? Like, that makes no sense to me. That is unacceptable for the level of talent we do have in this roster, because I think that Brooklyn has basically little to no talent besides what MPJ really brought, and the guys that maybe have their talent, they're very much new. Like, they just got drafted. Like, I don't think many of them are anywhere close to where they should be in development in terms of what we expect from them later on in their career. But yeah, it's just really, really, really pissing me off. He put some respect on people's name. Future Hall of Fame foot shot dribbler player there. Oh god, man, this dude's just so bad. On the Amach is a troublemaker or someone who would cause locker room issues. I'd be shocked if that were true. Yeah, I don't think it's him. I'm just saying that I think that there might be some sort of disconnect between everybody of like where defensive rotations are supposed to be, and like they're blaming Buzelis for it, which they may be right, but at the same time, I'm just like, where's your point of attack defense? Like, you can't be blaming guys for where's the help and calling that out and not also give any sort of resistance on the perimeter. Like, that doesn't work. That's not going to slide. Got to be a troublemaker to be on the side of locker room issues. Well, I would argue that every perimeter defender should be on the. They should be the ones they're the ones that are causing the issues. Like, if they're like asking where's the help from Buzelis, I'm like, you're the problem. Like, you offer no resistance on the perimeter. Like, that's their fault. Be as simple as him being like put effort in, and I don't know, Smith being like a happy dude and it grows. Losing causes friction. Butch and Billy saying this team is soft and not talented enough to the media rather than keeping it in-house is probably the thing that hurt this team. The thing is, though, is that I think here's my theory, though. I think that was being told to the team from the start. Like, I think Billy has said that to the team consistently. I think that he said it during preseason. Like, I don't think that this is a new message from Billy Donovan, but the team was coming off a 5-game losing streak, just got absolutely whacked by the Miami Heat the day before, and you barely beat the worst team in the East. Like, very clearly that the message is not getting across, and so maybe that's what Billy and Vucevic decided to do, is just go to the media instead, which you can argue if that was the right thing or wrong thing to do. But my point is that I just don't think that the idea of Billy saying that they're not talented enough to be like kind of just lollygagging throughout the game, I think that's a message that's been stated since the start of training camp. But why is it all of a sudden an issue now when very clearly you're underperforming against one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference or in the NBA, and Billy calls it out and just is like, oh, I mean, you know, like, this is an issue. Like, I don't understand why that would just suddenly cause a massive rift in the locker room, but if it did, then I guess it's bad on Billy. But it's also just, to me, it's like it's also bad on just everybody. Like, you should have known this heading into the season, but maybe guys have a much bigger ego than I thought. I mean, they are getting paid a lot of millions of dollars. Yeah. I agree that Booz is a slasher and cutter. If you know passes to that, it's frustrating for the player in a waste. Wonder why both way moving off to is his previous that has been used, even if not as much as run. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like Kobe and Giddey really want the ball a lot and want to kind of dictate how things kind of go, especially recently Kobe, man. I'm not happy with how he's playing. I know Kobe's coming back from injury, but I don't like how he's played. Just struck me as someone who would be bold enough for confrontational towards his teammates right now, at least. Yeah, maybe. Lots of stuff I can think of moments that could have started friction. Yeah, I think it's obviously the Billy Donovan comment and then the Vucevic comment was like a lot of people, what people are saying, but I mean, who knows? There's a lot of little things throughout the game that can happen. He also be a floor spacer, but we're using him mostly, if not only, as a floor spacer / corner sitter when his natural instinct is to slash and create chaos in the paint. Yeah, like, Buzelis needs to be moving around constantly. You can't have him just sitting in the corner. And then, you know, like, yeah, he can have moments when he does that, but like there was a lot more opportunities for him earlier in the year where, or maybe I shouldn't say early in the year, but more preseason, where like he would come off a chin cut and come up for a pick and roll opportunity at the top of the key. Like, that's what we need more of. Like, that's him constantly moving, and like even the chin cut is just like that's him being a target, right? It's him being a threat in the middle of the possession off ball, which is what we want him to be. And then coming back up if that's not there and be like, okay, well, give me the ball for this pick and roll opportunity and let me try to get a downhill action. And we're not getting that right now. It's just not consistent enough. Like, we saw a little bit of it today, but it's not enough. And yet somehow he only played 24 minutes, which is just flat out ridiculous. Which, again, I know he got bopped in the nose, but like, he was back on the bench with like 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and yet Billy just sat him for the rest of the quarter for some stupid reason. Jason Dart, AJ, or Caruso surely won't be affordable this coming offseason to shift for a pick or the next. Yeah, I disagree. I think that they're all pretty affordable. Like, I think the Thunder are willing to pay the tax for it, and they're not going to be in like the repeater tax or anything. I think they're all fine, and it's not a coincidence that with some of those guys, like for example Dort got paid a lot of money early, right? And that was all planned by the Thunder, and so like he's gonna probably be taking a lot less in his next contract. So I think that they're going to be fine, honestly. It'll be interesting to see what Casey Wallace is. I think that might be the only guy that I'm questioning, but I think that they're fine, honestly. I think that they're just going to be keeping everybody moving forward. Oh, Mach's the whole time, so yeah, Mach's okay, got it, yeah. I think that Buzelis is one of the more dynamic guys to have the ball in his hands for sure, when especially running the pick and roll, or just in general, just like coming down the floor. Like, give him the ball in the middle of the floor and have him run down in transition. Like, that makes this team more dynamic. But yeah, instead I'm seeing moments where I feel like he should be getting the ball in like a transition opportunity, doesn't get it, or he's moving within the offensive possession. I think he's done well to adjust to some of the new things that they're doing on the offensive end, and I don't see him getting the basketball in some opportunities. So yeah, it's frustrating right now. They keep casing in AJ. Okay, yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Dort's staying. Like, something that I was reading something about what Keith Smith wrote for the Thunder, who runs Spot Track, by the way. So again, if you're questioning who that person is, he runs Spot Track alone, or not alone, but like he's in charge of Spot Track. So don't question what Keith Smith writes. But like this season, for example, like they're fine for this year. Like the you know, Holmgren and J-Dub new contracts are not even kicked in yet. Like they're fine. Like they don't kick in until this season, right? But still, Jason Wallace is still under contract for next season, so like he's fine as well. So then once Lou Dort, here's a team option, by the way. Once this ends, okay, then he's going to be obviously a free agent, but then Casey Wallace is then up for a new contract. So then you're going to give Wallace more money, and Dort's going to take a pay cut because Dort got paid, what was it, 5 years, $90 million? It was around, or for 5 years, $82 million. And like you can argue for at the moment he signed the contract, it might have been a little bit too much, but like either way, it's still like he got a pretty big chunk of money, and he's gonna not get probably as much per year, and so he'll be taking less, which then is gonna open up more for Casey Wallace for his next contract. So like it's like, again, it's all perfectly lined up. Like Hartenstein is also, he's not going to be getting this much. He's going to probably re-sign with the Thunder, but he's not going to be getting $28.5 million per year. Okay, what he will be getting though is like probably close to around 20 or something million a year, or even less than that. But the Thunder intentionally paid him a lot early to kind of pay him up front, so that down the road, when they want to keep him and guys get more expensive, obviously, it's going to be him on a cheaper contract. Like Sam Presti did everything right. Like everything that you look at right now is just like one guy comes off in terms of his contract, the next guy, like you have to pay then this guy, but you already paid this guy a certain amount of money, therefore we can re-sign him to something cheaper. Like Sam Presti did everything right. And oh, by the way, you have all these extra picks still lying around. Like it's honestly perfect. Like Kendrick Williams, he's gone. Like it can honestly not be even more perfect than what Sam Presti has done. So yeah, like this, I think these 2 years, if you're wondering, like these 2 years specifically, when it comes to the Thunder, I think they're gonna be fine. Like when it comes to like these specific 2 years here, this will be the year that I'll be interested in. Like this is obviously when it gets extremely expensive. Repeater tax is then gonna be prevalent for them this year if they stay in a tax this year. So that will be the interesting part. But I personally think that they're fine because they're not in the tax this season. Okay. So, as you can see here, they're avoiding the tax intentionally this season, so it doesn't start the repeater clock. So then you're going to be in the tax these 2 seasons, and like they've said that, like it seems like right now that they're willing to pay it. So I don't expect anything to really change here. And then we'll see about this year. But for now, I think in the short term right now, I think that they're fine. I'd be kind of shocked if they're just going to suddenly give up some of these pieces, but who knows? They could maybe have a falling out or something. That'd be great. That'd honestly be cool to see. In case and AJ, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I personally think that they're gonna be okay. Well, this roster minus Iowa when he wants is even half the defender Matas is in his second year as a pro. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone's really even close to what he can do in terms of playmaking abilities. So like it maybe might just be a Okoro just because he tries, but Okoro's not the playmaker in terms of like getting the stocks and everything like that. So Yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly. It's a tough call. Reminder, for all you people talk about AJ Mitchell, okay, he is on a $2.8 million deal next season. He's on $2.8 million deal the following year. Like, they don't have to pay him. Like, he is under contract for the next 2 seasons with the Thunder. This is not guaranteed, but if he's on the roster, it becomes guaranteed. Like, they don't have to pay this man. Like, that's the thing that I don't think people understand. It's just like, they don't have to pay this man anything. Like, there's no new contract when it comes to AJ Mitchell. Like, yeah, he's having a great year, but like, there's no new contract. Like, they just keep him on this contract moving forward, and they can't do anything about it. Like, they have everything set up right. If a bunch of lazy players with not a single defensive bone in their body call me out for defensive laps, I'd be done with them for real, for real. Oh, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that these guys calling certain players out is just like, you're also not playing defense. Like, if a perimeter player is asking where the help is, I'm just like, brother, you decide not to give me any defensive effort on the perimeter at all. You let this man get a wide open line drive to the rim. You expect me to be able to come over and help in time? Like, the whole point of help defense is that you need help because you're trying to do your best and slow him down a little bit, but I come on over and make sure that the drive is, not going to be there completely at that point. But if you're just letting a dude just come on in and just drive easily right to the rim with no resistance, it's just like, I mean, I'd be pissed off if they're asking, like, where's the help, man? Like, I'd be screaming back, where's the point of attack defense? Like, it's not, to me, what this team needs to understand is it's not one person, okay? Like, you can't just be blaming like one person. Instead, what the players need to start thinking about is, if let's say someone did mess up, instead of you thinking, oh, okay, like, it's their fault, like, that the reason why we gave up this play is because it's their fault, they messed up and didn't rotate or whatever. They need to start thinking, instead of that, they need to start thinking, what could have I done better in that sort of situation? Could I have gotten back into the play and actually really try to help this team be a better defensive team in that one possession? Or was it actually that blown up and there's nothing I truly couldn't have done on that one play? Like, that's what I think that this team needs to start flipping in their head, is that it's no longer going to be about, oh, that guy messed up. It's what it should be from here on out is, how could I have done better? Okay, instead of just resorting to just start yelling at these guys and start yelling at your teammates or whatever, and start saying, like, hey, you got to be here or this or that. Like, it should be, what should I have done better in this possession? Like, I don't think anybody right now should be at any given moment like clean in terms of criticism. So when someone decides to criticize somebody, it has to be everybody is getting criticized now, because really clear, like very clear, as we've been talking about in the stream, this team is right now, they're having issues with their chemistry or something. There's something going on, right? There is very clearly something going on when it comes to the team collectively. I don't know if it's just a distrust into the coaching staff, if it's a distrust among these guys, or whatever is going on, okay? But everybody, when they decide to criticize each other or try to hold each other accountable, instead of it being, you did this, you're to blame, it's gotta be, we need to do this better, right? Because just blaming someone is just not going to get anywhere at this point. You got the entire team is giving up 120 points consistently at this point. It's not just one person. It can't just be one person. It has to be a collective. And there's just moments throughout the game where I'm looking at these guys and like they're like looking at each other and they're just like, why weren't you here? It's just like, well, I mean, let's blame everybody. Like, let's start thinking to ourselves, hey, what could I have done better, instead of just thinking, oh, this guy needed to just be in better position or whatever. AK, I mean, aren't humans either? They're donkeys, though. I mean, honestly, who knows? Honestly, what AK is like? That man might just be a vampire without a brain. Definitely talk about. Start wondering, is Mark Eversley even a real person? I honestly don't know where that man is. He is like Batman that doesn't do anything good for the world. He's just gone. We won't see him ever. Feels like he's a puppet being remotely controlled just to show up sometimes. That is actually a really good description, yeah. I honestly don't know what Mark Eversley is at this point to this team. He looks just lost. Whenever I do see him in the press conferences, it's just like, well, I mean, you speak better than AK. I guess that's a plus, but yeah, I don't like I don't like either of them at this point. They just seem to be yes men right now for Reinsdorf to try to go and get this team to be just playing caliber, which is, that's the new standard in Chicago Bulls franchise is play-in caliber. We're no longer playoff caliber. Is can we be play-in caliber? Because right now this team is not playoff caliber by any means. But guess what? The East is so damn garbage that hey, we're right here in terms of the play-in tournament. Like we're almost there. So that's good enough. It's good enough for us. Yeah, I'm livid as fuck right now. Just that this is what it's gonna be. There's now a 4-game difference between 9th and 10th, which is hilarious to see. The Hawks are only 3 games over 500, and yet there's a 4-game difference somehow. Remember that the Bulls started 5-0. Remember that? We're 9-14. Like, I can't even explain to you how terrible of a start of a season overall it is to start the season 5-0, and now you have 14 L's, and you still haven't even hit the double-digit mark in wins, and we're in December now. Like, how the hell did this happen, man? Like, this team is so torn apart that there's no saving it at this point. No tank, man. Wish I had Mark's job, just exist and get paid millions for just being. Yeah, man is really living the dream. Oh, he's living the dream, and also one of the best cities in the world right now. Yeah, it's flat out stupid that Eversley is just allowed just to do this, but hey, what happens when you have connections, right? Other side for the Warriors, okay? The Bulls gave up 22 threes, and Steph Curry didn't play tonight. Like, the Bulls didn't give up that many points in the paint. It does not matter, okay? Like, I know maybe some people are cheering about this number. It does not matter when you give up 22 threes and the greatest shooter of all time did not play for this team tonight. Like, how the fuck did this happen, man? Quentin Post had 5 threes. He was 3 for 3 from 3 early in this game. He was killing us early in this game. It's just like, how the hell is this allowed, man? Like, he had his career high against the Bulls, and he's backed it up with 1 point off his career high in this game tonight, okay? Pat Spencer was just out there kind of just doing what he wanted to. Like, he wasn't exactly the best, but he's just kind of out there just doing whatever. Pajimski had 21 points tonight, and I was talking about, previously, like, on this stream, like, I don't think Pajimski's really had the best year. Like, he's kind of had some struggles overall, like, not the best overall field goal percentage. Like, it's, I guess a little bit of increase in points, but it's been kind of a weird year for him. But yet, he put up 21 in 28 minutes, had 5 threes made. Like, come on, man. Just flat out, the guys just didn't play defense. They're just there watching guys just launch threes and are shocked that it's like, oh, it's not Steph Curry though. Like, how did they make this 3-point shot? It's just like, Will Richard hit a step back 3 over Giddey and rain in his face. Like, again, it just seems like guys are just shocked that, oh wow, certain guys are making threes tonight. Like, DeAnthony Melton, I feel like people have forgotten how good of a player DeAnthony Melton is. Like, yes, he's been injured for a while, and I get it, but like, he just got back in his previous game. But like, DeAnthony Melton is like a really solid player, man. Like, I don't know why people have just kind of forgotten this, but like, he's been a pretty solid player in this league. And just randomly, it just feels like the team is just like, oh wow, DeAnthony Melton's just launching threes and draining them. Like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Like, all right, well, if it's really that the scouting report didn't say anything about him, that's the scouting report's fault. But I mean, if you're just aware of who's in the league, which I guess that's just not something that players are aware of anymore in today's era, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just like, this guy can hit threes. I don't know why it was like so shocking for some of these players to be like, oh wow, he shot that 3-point shot. Like, they're just like, oh, like, that happened. Wow. Unreal, man. It's just unreal levels of just like, holy shit, you guys are just not engaged at all. There's no defense. I'm watching a team where Giddey looks like one of the most engaged players on defense. It's horrible. I mean, honestly, I don't even think Giddey was even that good tonight defensively. Like, it was better than that Pacers game, which that Pacers game from Giddey was just so on just incredible levels of just terribleness that honestly, it changed my tune on Giddey because of just like, bro, I can't even fathom a game that bad defensively from him against the Pacers, and like, he did it, and I was just like, Jesus, man. Tonight was a little bit better. Like, he recovered he got back up, he recovered and got the block. I think he had 3 blocks tonight or something like that. So like, yeah, it was better tonight, but it's still it had 2. But there are still moments with Giddey where he, like, I'll even show you a play where I'm just like, brother, like, you gotta be better than this, man. Like, I can't just have you just be out here and be like, yeah, this is fine. Like, we can't allow this. Like, come on, bro. Like, if we're gonna be guarding guys on the perimeter, you have to be able to get over the screen. Like, the Bulls intentionally put him on Jimmy Butler on this play. This is the start of the half, okay? Like, there is nothing weird going on. It's not a mismatch whatsoever, right? This is just straight up like, okay, we decided to put Josh Giddey on Jimmy Butler because Butler doesn't shoot threes, okay? If that's the case, then you gotta be able to fight over the screen, man. Like, what is this? Like, are we serious right now? Like, this is way too much space already given to Jimmy Butler on this play. But also, like, if you're thinking he's not going to shoot the three, then why are we like, go under the screen? What are we doing? And Giddey is just nowhere to be found on this play. Like, there is way too much separation, and it leads to this. Like, people want to blame Vucevic on this play when it's just like, no, the problem on this play is that Giddey didn't get over the screen effectively enough. Therefore, Vucevic just has to just foul. Like, there's nothing else to this besides that the point of attack defense was so poor that Jimmy Butler, who's really a non-shooter, just got right to the basket with no resistance. Like, this is not Vucevic's fault. This is on Giddey. Like, I can't have this. This is disgusting. Like, I lost my mind when I saw this. It's like, what are we doing? So, yeah, it's, you know, maybe Giddey was one of the better defensive players tonight, but that's not saying anything to me. Like, I think Giddey wasn't that good tonight, really, on defense either. Yeah, I'm not happy at all. I'm really starting to question some things. So I'm just like, yeah, if Giddey's gonna be part of this future, man, like, he better be showing some new stuff defensively, because I'm not happy with these recent games. Luka Doncic is back and put up a triple-double, so that's cool. And LeBron looked like LeBron again tonight, so yeah, that's funny. LeBron's back. Austin Reeves is not a good game. That's very shocking from him. That's not usually what we've been seeing this season. I want to check in on this because it's a close game, and I mean, for the people that believe in the Bulls. I mean, Philly should drop pretty heavily here. Yeah, so Philly dropped to 7th. No, I mean, it's kind of close, I guess, but still a 4-game difference between these teams who have been underperforming overall. At least recently for the Hawks, but overall for the Cavs, like, it's just, oh god, it's just terrible. Yeah, the front office, man, like, I know we're just saying the same shit constantly, but like, the front office really needs to, when it comes, if they're gonna actually do the right thing and rebuild, the defensive foundation needs to be set better. So draft guys that, like, I know a lot of people are looking like, well, Dalen Terry was like a defensive guy that they drafted, or same thing with Julian Phillips, for example, right? But they need to draft guys that they know are going to be going out there consistently, that can go and like get steals and like get deflections and be impactful on that end. But also like try to like see if they have like a 3-point shot in them. Like DT didn't have that. You know, go get a shot blocker, right, that can effectively, you know, be a good rim protector and can also move his feet well. And can also effectively score around the rim. Like, there's going to have to be some certain things that they're really look at. Obviously, if there's a, you know, generational offensive superstar in the draft, like, you can target that. But the defense right now is just so damn poor that I'm like, man, like, even the best defensive playmakers you can add to, like, you know, you can add, like, one of them to this team, and I still think this team is just so shit defensively. The defensive foundation needs a complete reset. So, like, yeah, I think Asenge and Buzelis can have, like, they have that potential in them to be good defenders, especially Asenge. Like, I have a lot of faith in Asenge to be good defenders. If you're wondering still, again, like, why the Queen pick is still not, like, I'm still, like, not, like, you know, in awe of Queen still. It's just because I think Queen doesn't really try that hard defensively. So, I'm, like, still not, like, going over about that still. I know a lot of people are, but, moving forward, though, like, yeah, it's going to have to be target two-way guys that can be impactful on both ends of the floor and not have much question marks, hopefully. You need to be going after guys that have, you know, or, you know, cheaper contracts that are younger. You know, just guys like you're just kind of taking swings on. I just don't, I mean, I'm okay getting a vet here and there, but like, I don't want to trade for one. Like, if you're gonna go get a vet, it better be in free agency, man. Like, I don't need a vet. Like, I don't need to trade for a vet at this point. Like, I think you need to hold on to every asset possible. And so if you're going to go and get a vet to help with the defense, then it has to be in free agency, because that's just basically spending money, right? So don't sacrifice any other part of your asset pool, which is already limited, right? To go and just target a vet that can help defensively. Like, if you're going to go do that, go and do that in free agency, or use your mid-level exception or something like that, just to get that, and not use any of your assets right now. Not a good thing, but I think it's I expect Gideon to not be great. The rest of the team has been so bad compared to the start of the year where the effort was good for most of the guys. So here's the thing though, Jordan. I think that even at the start of the season, I don't even think the effort was even that great. It was, sure, maybe better, but the Bulls still gave up the most points in the paint per game in October. Like, that's why I think that some people are just kind of forgetting. It's just like, and I mentioned this many times on this channel already, but it's just like, in terms of what happened in October, okay, the Bulls didn't really play the best defense either. Like, I think that people are just correlating what happened in October because the scores were just lower, and be like, oh, we played like amazing defense, when in reality, I don't think we did. Like, we still gave up the most points in the paint in October. That's not good. I don't care whatever you're gonna tell me. Like, that's just not a good thing in general to have for your defense, okay? But what did happen though, and this is where I think people need to start understanding what did happen, is like, yeah, I do think that maybe the effort is definitely lower, right? Like, you can argue that the effort is significantly lower. I would argue that it's just a little bit lower with their defensive effort. But in terms of wide open 3-point shots, okay, this was, it wasn't, like, this is what was the difference. It was that opponents in October didn't shoot good enough from wide open threes against the Bulls. They were missing a ton of shots, okay? The Bulls were giving up wide open threes. The opponents just didn't hit them. That's what changed, okay? Like, the Bulls, as you can see here, in October, when we went on a 5-0 run, right? Opponents shot under 30% on wide open, okay, threes. That's not good defense. This is just straight up getting lucky. It's just that you faced opponents that weren't hitting threes that night. Orlando is notoriously bad at 3-point shooting. But opponents just straight up were not being, they weren't hitting their threes. And so you could then decide, oh, okay, now opponents are hitting their threes, right? And so we'll just go to November, for instance, right? Like, in November, it completely flips on its head, and the Bulls are still one of the worst teams in terms of points in the, giving up points in the paint per game, okay? Therefore, it's just like, oh, well, it's not that shocking, okay? Opponents against the Bulls in November shot 42 or 41% from 3-point range, okay? Like, that's more normal, right? And let's just see what December is. I haven't even looked at this stat. But, again, like, just to show you, for in terms of points in the paint per game in November, it was still shit. Like, it wasn't any different. It was still shit. I don't think it was the worst. I think it was, the Bulls were like 26. Yeah. So, like, this is still bad. Okay, I mean, you improved a little bit, but, like, it was still bad. And so now in December here, let's see where we're at. Yeah, it's here. So, like, to me, again, it's not even much of a difference. And I think for right now in December, it's like, I don't think this number is actually be that high, because the teams that we faced aren't even making points in the paint. It's just that the Bulls defense is just bad in general, that they're just now draining their threes instead in our faces. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Bulls are actually at the top right now in terms of, like, points in the paint per game, but when you give up 22 threes, then, like, this number doesn't really matter. So too early of a sample size right now, but it's, to me, I just think that, like, in general, I think the Bulls defense was already bad. Like, it's not necessarily that, oh, the Bulls were playing much better overall defense. I think the defense was still bad at the start of the season. It just was that teams weren't making shots. Now teams are obviously have their legs underneath them, and they're hitting their threes, and this is what's ended up happening now, is that teams are just draining their threes, and the Bulls have no resistance at that part of the floor, and it's looking worse and worse, right? So, I don't know, it may be just me just saying, like, oh, like, I just don't think that this team was just good in general defensively, which that's what I personally think. I think this team was, just in general, was just bad overall. Defensively, and the start of the season was more so about teams missing their shots versus teams or versus us playing better. But I don't know, I think that this team is just garbage. I think this team just has no defensive capabilities, honestly, and it's not just because of Vooch. I think it's more so the perimeter than it is Vucevic, honestly. Yeah, Vucevic not being a good defender doesn't help, but I think it's more so the perimeter guys are just so terrible that I'm just like, well, yeah, I mean, what happens, man? It's just terrible overall defensive abilities, and leads to no effort, leads to then this tonight. So meanwhile, also the Bulls offense is just garbage, man. I'm really not happy with this Bulls offense recently. I've been, offensive rating for the Bulls, let's see where it is now. We're now down at 24th. The Bulls came in, I believe, at 22nd tonight, so that's ridiculous. Defensive rating is now 23rd. The Bulls came in, I believe, at 21st. So the Bulls dropped 2 spots in the defensive rating tonight. Which, some people want to look at, for example, this number, which I think the Bulls are going to again drop here. Okay, yeah, they just did. But the Bulls came into tonight, they were 12th in terms of points per game, okay? And that's what a lot of people look at. It's just like, oh, like our offense is fine. But more so when it was like more up here, right? Like, and there was a moment where we were up here at the top of the league in terms of points per game. But I was adamant, like, this Bulls team on offense is not good either. Like, the offense is really starting to die recently, and hence the offensive rating shows. Like, our offensive rating is garbage. But now it's starting to catch up to our points per game, okay? So, like, officially now, when you look at it, it's like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, we're now in the bottom half of the league in terms of points per game now, officially. We're tied with Boston and Philly. So, we're getting down here. We're starting to get down to some of the worst teams that, we're all used to seeing down at the bottom. So we are officially cementing ourselves as one of the worst teams in the league, which is woohoo. Friends, we all want Paxton's job. I mean, what does he do? I mean, yeah, I think Paxton might honestly have the better job. He just gets to do nothing, honestly, and not even have to go to the media. Yeah, team just warming up into the season, right? Like, think about it. The Bulls faced the Detroit Pistons on opening night, and they made, what, 3 threes in that game? 2? I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was 4. But then, or maybe, I don't remember what exact number was. But then they faced Orlando the next game, and Orlando makes 3 that game. And then Atlanta, like, it was okay, but, like, they only shot 33%, I believe, from the field that game. And so it was honestly still pretty bad until that next game happened, where, like, the Bulls still won the game, but, like, they also gave up a ton of points to win that game. And then next started to hit their threes, and so, like, that's like, this stat I show you here, that is for October only. Like, this is after that Knicks game where the Bulls, like, the Knicks were, like, draining threes in that last game of October. Like, that's what I don't think people understand, is, like, this number honestly was significantly more in the Bulls' favor before that Knicks game. Like, or maybe it wasn't significantly, but it was just more in general. Which was, so, like, I'll go here. Like, what was this number, honestly, for the Bulls? Yeah, I mean, that next game alone brought it up 2%. Like, teams are just not going to shoot 27% on wide open threes. It's just not going to happen. And yeah, the one thing I'll give credit to the Bulls is that they were not allowing that many wide open threes. Like, you can look here, like, yeah, they're not allowing that many wide open threes overall, like, compared to, like, the Jazz in that month. But still, it's like it wasn't. You're basically you're preventing these wide open threes, but then you're just allowing them to get right to the paint. So, like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. I very much think that it was like, the Bulls are just overall terrible, and preventing wide open threes has not really done much for the team. Okay, yeah. Even here, I guess it wasn't much of a difference, but sure. Bulls played here, and then it was here. So then I'll go. Oh, this day. What was the shooting percentage in the first 2 games? I believe it was 14.8%, I believe. Wide open threes. If this would load, that would really help. We're gonna refresh. Sorry, y'all. And we're gonna refresh again because it doesn't want to work. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna close out some tabs, just see if that'll help. Here we go. Alright, not even. Okay, it was a little bit better. It was 16%. So the Bulls' first 2 games I guess. Oh wait, that was one game. That was one game actually. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? That. Okay, yeah. Okay, that. I forgot. Okay, yeah, 2 days off. Blah blah. Okay, so 2 games. It was 14.8%. Yeah. God. I mean, you better win the games when it's just like teams are just not hitting their wide open threes. So, oh boy. All right. Well, with that being said, like I said, I'm gonna definitely keep these a little bit shorter. Because I mean, what is even there to say at this point with this team? This team is just flat out garbage. So, a couple of things that's gonna happen here. So, I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff right now. I have a final tomorrow with my schoolwork. So, I do need to end this stream a little bit earlier than usual. I like to usually go 2 hours, but we're to end this a little bit earlier. But for us in this community and for this Bulls team moving forward, the Bulls are going to be off for 4 days here, okay? So if you're wondering what's going on, it's going to be a mix of like just kind of where the schedule kind of lined up for the Bulls. But also then on Tuesday specifically, you're going to be seeing NBA Cup games. So the in-season tournament is going to be happening. That's all gonna be on Prime Video, by the way. So if you want to go and actually watch some good basketball, make sure you can log into your Prime Video account and watch those games, because I think it's worth it. Those are gonna be some fun games. Bulls don't play again until we're gonna be seeing the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. So I am not feeling good at all, and honestly, I think it would be in the Bulls' favor just to lose this game, because Charlotte is 2 wins behind us in terms of the win column. If you lose this game, then they're one win behind us, and I would like for Charlotte to pass us in the standings so that we can pass them in the Tankathon standings. That'd be overall good. But I mean, last time we went to Charlotte, like everybody was pretty much available for the Bulls, right? I mean, Kobe played in that game, Giddey played in that game, Buzelis played in that game, like Vooch played. Like it was pretty similar situation here. There were some guys missing, but there were a lot of guys also healthy for that game, and the Bulls still lost that game. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this happen again. But what I really want to talk about, though, is that I really hope that the Bulls, in this little 4-day break here, like, I know that it sounds ridiculous what I'm about to say, because, like, you know, I know that some people they hate me even talking about it, and it's just like, well, no, you got to show it in the game. And I agree. They got to show at some point in games here that they're going to actually go out and actually try. But in all honesty, man, like, I do think that Billy Donovan needs to run a practice or something in this little break here. Tomorrow's a day off for them for sure. Like, you don't play after a game usually, or you don't practice after a game usually. But like Tuesday, Wednesday, like one of those 2 days before then you travel out to Charlotte, like, which I'm gonna assume you travel on Thursday. On Thursday before the Friday game. Like, I think you need to practice at the Advocate Center at some point, because this team needs to find a better way to be better defensively. And I mean, you know, they can talk about all they want and shoot around, but I don't know if anything's going to actually happen unless they actually do practice. So, you know, it sounds ridiculous. Like, I'm aware it sounds ridiculous. It's just like, because people are just like, man, we're talking about practice, man? And I get it. Like, I don't want to talk about this shit. It sounds ridiculous, but like, this Bulls team is showing that they're flat out disgustingly bad. Really, nothing can hurt at this point. So I think that Tuesday or Wednesday has to be a practice day. And I'm going to hope to see that. But we will see how the Bulls do against Charlotte. I think, again, I've already made my stance clear that losing for the rest of the season, it can only do good. Unless it's Buzelis, you know, found his way to carry this team to a victory. Like, that's the only kind of win that I'm, like, accepting. Any other win, I feel like it's just kind of a waste. So, get the ball to Buzelis and, you know, just go out and just not care about the results of the game or what Buzelis does. Just make sure that he gets his touches in, which is very necessary. Do you think Kobe will be traded now? I don't think they can ever play Giddey and Kobe. Kobe looks even worse on defense lately. So, here's the weird thing I'll say to you, Jordan. I think Giddey in these past 2 games has looked worse defensively than Kobe has. If you want to go back into my previous stream, like after the Pacers game, like I called out Giddey in like 4 different plays because I was so disgusted with how bad Giddey's defense was in that game against the Pacers. I was so disgusted. I was just like, what the hell is this from Giddey? Now, overall, though, I do think that for the entire season, I think Kobe's defense has been worse. But I think Giddey's defense in the past game against the Pacers and then this game, I would argue Giddey's defense was worse. But that's just my opinion. Do I think that they trade Kobe now? I think they have to. Like, I agree with you that a Kobe Giddey backcourt doesn't make any sense, but I've been adamant that I'm just like, if you want to trade both of them, I'm cool with that as well. Like, no matter what, though, you got to trade one because they're not going to work out. Giddey already can't guard guards, and so I don't want then another defensive liability guard next to him in the backcourt. Giddey has to guard forwards, so you need to go and find a guard that can guard guards, or you move on from Giddey, which is just like, I wouldn't mind that, honestly, because I think his value is only going to go down from here on out, but we'll see. And I mean that in terms of that his value is pretty high right now. So, I wouldn't mind cashing it in. But, yeah, I think that Kobe needs to get traded now. You're not going to get much in return for him. You already missed that window, in my opinion, to get, like, decent return from Kobe. So, as each day passes, unfortunately, you're losing value. So, yeah, I would definitely look to trade Kobe, but we'll see if they actually do it, because I do think that, I really do think, though, that, the time to get Kobe the time to trade Kobe was much earlier, and now it's just like, okay, well, is what it is. Like, Kobe's is dealing with a calf issue with both of his legs, is still on a minutes restriction, and has not played overall that well this season. Like, his 3-point percentage coming into tonight was 32.7%. It got worse tonight. So, I I think the Bulls are gonna pay Kobe because they truly do believe in this backcourt, and I hate it. I hate this core. Like, I despise this core. So you need to trade Kobe at bare minimum. If you're gonna keep Kobe, then you better trade Giddey. That's all I'm gonna say. I think, honestly, at least in my opinion, with how things are going, and I know that some people don't like it, but I'm just like, I don't understand really in my opinion, at least, I don't understand why there's such a sentiment that, like, Giddey is, like, untouchable. To me, Giddey's not untouchable. Like, Giddey should be, in my opinion, looked to be traded. Especially if we're going to continue like this, because, like, in my opinion, Giddey can't be your main ball handler. For if you're going to be winning. So if that's going to be the case, and he's going to be just some starter on your team, okay, then, like, his value is only going to go down, because that means that he won't be putting up these numbers if, let's say, you draft, like, you know, Aaron Peterson in this upcoming draft, right? And he's, like, your superstar of the future. Like, Giddey's got to move off ball, and I don't think he's going to be putting up these numbers still. So I'm just like, okay, well, you might as well then, if this is going to be his highest value right now, and his contract is at a 4-year guarantee deal, like, trade him now. Like, that's the way I look at it. But, you know, I understand a lot of people are very much against it, but let's just be honest with ourselves. Giddey is part of the reason why this team is bad defensively, just as everybody else is the big reason why this team is bad defensively, okay? Like, he's part of that as well. And yes, he has been the Bulls' best player this season, but I am very much aware, and we should all be aware, that Giddey's defense has also been part of the bad defense this season. He's not just, you know, we can't just be like, oh, you know, he's all right. Like, he doesn't put up Luka numbers. So I'm like saying, like, yeah, I think you should look to actually move him. But if you don't, then I'm going to really hope then when we do move forward that, one, that we understand that he won't be the main ball handler for a team that is trying to win. But two, he's going to have to find a way to be much, much, much more significantly better defensively. He'll probably be moved to, like, a forward position if he does move off ball. But it is extremely important for him to get better defensively in some sort of fashion. Because these last two games, man, have been like, oh god, man, I've just been that Pacers game just it really made me so pissed. I was just like, I don't want to even consider it. But yeah, it's just so bad. So, you know, I think that the only guys that I wouldn't be trading right now are Buzelis and Asenga. That's pretty much it. I think that's why they look better with Trey Jones and Okoro, apart from Okoro on centers. I mean, right. Like, I do think that Trey Jones and Okoro are better defenders than Kobe and Giddey, both of them. but I still think that they were like they aren't like the level of like, oh, they're significantly better. I think that they also have their weaknesses. Like Trey Jones is small, but he does get the most deflections for the team, so that he's pretty valuable. Okoro though, like he's just a fine defender. Like he's nothing special defensively. He's just an okay defender. He doesn't get deflections. He doesn't get steals or blocks. And he's also not that big. Like he's 6'4" really. So I do agree they're better defensively, but I also do think though that even that lineup also went on a 5-game losing streak, like with Okoro and Trey Jones in the starting lineup without Kobe, right? And in that time, the Bulls also found ways to give up 120 points consistently in that losing streak. Okay, like this was like this game here, for example, like this was still the Giddey, Trey Jones, Okoro lineup, right? Kobe wasn't playing yet, and so I think that my argument is, yeah, I do think that there are better defenders individually, but the team as a whole was not much better. Like the team still sucked defensively because they still gave up 120 every night. The Bucks, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's the Bucks. Like the Bucks have sucked recently. So as you see here, like this is still the Giddey, Trey Jones, Okoro lineup. Like, so I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think it was that much of a difference personally. When the Bulls become so good at tanking, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think they're intentionally tanking. I just think they're just bad. I think that they're actually just bad, which is disgusting. But yeah, this is where we're at. God, this game also, man. This was a winnable game, and it's like, but yeah, man. It's ever since that Vucevic comment to the media. It's been this way. It's honestly it's been pretty crazy to watch, but yeah, it's been this way. Here's the game that Okoro got injured, but yeah, so no Giddey obviously in this one. He's not untouchable, but they just extended him, so I don't see them get rid of him. I also agree, but I would also argue though that I don't think that the Bulls are looking to get rid of Kobe either, which is frustrating as fuck because it's just like you should be. Like, you should have already traded him, but you didn't. Yeah, I honestly just, like, everyone should be on the chopping block except for Buzelis in a second at this point. Get some pick value, like, first or second round picks, I don't care for, I mean, this just in general for everybody. Like, if you could trade Jalen Smith for 2 second round picks, you do it, okay? Like, that's fine. Like, you get that value. Like, Jalen Smith's not going to be helping you for the long road. You should be flat out just embracing the tank and full out rebuilding here, but they're not going to go do that. So I'm going to be pretty pissed when they don't decide to do that, and they're going to re-sign Kobe to like $150 million contract. Can't wait for that. Yeah. All right, y'all. Couple things before we go ahead and end this stream. So once again, please hit the like button for our sanity purposes. This is not just for me. It's just so that we can all see a good thumbs up. That is just a good little positive thing before we go ahead and end stream tonight. So, but otherwise, I really appreciate all the likes on the streams this season, and all the support for the content this season, because holy shit, bro. This has been such a terrible year. Be on the lookout for stuff from On Top Sportsnet. I'm just gonna go ahead and just link the entire website, but please check this stuff out. We cover all the major Chicago sports teams, and I'm writing for them all season long. You should expect a article from me during this 4-day break for the Bulls, so be on the lookout for it. Again, I'll be posting it when it's published officially on my community tab, so you guys can click the link to it there. And then also recently, for On Tap Sportsnet, so this podcast that I recorded was it was done before the Pacers game. So I am very much aware that this is, it is definitely maybe quote unquote dated, if that makes any sense. But I think that, with everything that has happened, it's still pretty relevant, even though that it's been 2 games since this podcast has been released. So if you want to go check out the latest Bulls on Tap podcast that is with me and local Bulls fan who's Alejandro Delgado, Go check it out. As this has been everything we kind of said in that podcast is still relevant to what has happened still in the Pacers and Warriors game. So it is still frustrating at the end of the day. I mean, Vooch wasn't wrong, obviously. He said the effort wasn't good enough even after winning, but he needs a mirror because the lack of effort is rubbing off on everyone. He's a culprit. Oh, he's 1,000,000% a culprit. Like, yeah, he's, as the vet, to see him not try and not back up what he said to the team is also really disgusting. But what I did say, though, I don't think you were here earlier, Jordan, but what I think personally is that instead of people blaming each other, because that's what I think is starting to happen with this team, is that you're starting to see players start blaming, like, each other for like defensive miscues or whatever. I'm saying now what the team needs to do instead is to just, whenever something bad happens defensively, they need to start thinking to themselves, instead of, oh, that guy messed up, instead of thinking that, they need to start thinking, what could I have done better? Like, instead of just blaming, your teammates, let's take a look in the mirror, because right now I think that there's a lot of kind of pointing going on of just like, where was the help, when it's just like, well, you offer no perimeter defense. Like, you offer me nothing in terms of point of attack defense. So why are you saying where's the help? Like, why should I help you if you're gonna let this man get a line drive right to the basket, right? So I think that what needs to happen in this 4-day break is that people need to look in the mirror, especially Vooch, and just be like, all right, well, let's be better. Okay, and let's, instead of blaming people or, pouting or throwing our hands up and just being overall pissed, like, let's actually just start looking in the mirror and be like, what can I do better? Because holy shit, every single person on this team, from top to bottom, from the highest paid player to all the way at the bottom of the bench right now, every single player can be like, yeah, I could do something better. And it's pissing me off that it seems like they're not doing that right now. But I'm hoping to see something better moving forward. Again, I think that right now I do not care about when, like, I don't care about the wins anymore. I don't care about the results of these games. But what I do hope to see is that these younger players that I think should be getting most of the playing time now, I hope to see better defensive ability, because we should be seeing better defensive effort from them anyway. But as always, the priority moving forward is that Montes Buzelis needs the ball. Give him the ball. Let him figure things out. Let him just develop with the ball in his hands. Find him on cuts, right? We were talking about that earlier in the stream, is that we're not finding him enough on cuts right now. And let him just go and create with the ball in his hands, and let's see what happens off of that. If he turns it over 10 times, okay, so what? We give him the ball the next possession. I don't care. But, if we end up getting a win because he carried us to a win, great, awesome. But he's the priority right now. I feel like everybody else, like, I'm advocating to trade this guy. I know some people don't agree with, but like, he should be gone. He should be gone. He's most likely gone, even though I'm gonna be very sad when the day happens. Not even a G League level player. He's just been terrible. We need to see more DT. I do agree with that. Like, we gotta see more of him, but he should not be playing. He's not a priority anymore, and he should be getting minutes. So, I'm hoping to see some better, just long-term rotations from Billy Donovan moving forward, but I know that's not going to happen. I know that the front office wants to win. I know Billy Donovan wants to win, which is just like, well, I mean, you're one of the worst teams in the league right now, so I don't know how you're going to win. Yeah, I'm aware guys are out. The Warriors didn't have Curry or Green tonight, or Horford tonight. Like, I don't care that guys are out, honestly. You're supposed to have the best depth in the league, and not showing so far. So, I think that there could be a lot better just overall looking play. Not saying it's to be wins. I'm just saying it could be just better overall looking play on the floor. If people just, instead of blaming each other, could just be like, what could I have done better? That's not even to say that, like, oh, like, there was something wrong with what you did. I'm just saying that, like, instead of just doing the whole blame game right now, I'm just saying, all right, let's just have each other just think, what could I have done better? Like, could I have maybe done a better job defending on the perimeter, or could I maybe gotten the steal here, or, maybe I could have gotten back and been in this specific position to help. Like, instead of just blaming each other and just being like, oh, like, you weren't here, or you didn't try hard enough, or didn't do this or that. Like, let's move on from that and let's just say, what could I have done better? And I think we could just see better play instead of, like, this team being the worst team in the league right now. Which, in all honesty, they shouldn't be this way. I think that they are pretty bad, but I didn't think that they should be the worst team in the league play-wise right now. But they're really showing it right now. It's been really rough. But God, this roster's trash. What's going on, Sam? Yeah, this roster is pretty garbage. With that being said, though, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into this post-game stream. I know it's a rough day in Chicago sports, but hey, Bears were close, and the Bulls continued on their tank, which is good. Hopefully they continue with their tank, because I think, honestly, again, what is the point of the season right now? I don't think trying to win means anything. Thank you guys for all hitting the like button on the stream. I sincerely do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel like Bulls content, please subscribe. Be on the lookout for some content from me from OnTap Sportsnet, so on the website with an article, and then also for a podcast later on the YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for that in this little 4-day break. But with that being said, I'll probably be seeing you guys on Friday as I go and take 2 finals in the next week here. So I'll probably be seeing you guys back on Friday when the Bulls take on the Hornets. I'll see you guys then, all right? All right, y'all. Be safe. It's cold. Be safe. I'll see you on Friday. Peace.